As I got another rhyme, another rhythm for y'all to listen. I'm never quitting on my mission, I'ma roll with what I'm giving. Got some ambition, this new edition, filling positions. Looking at the void in myself and feeling what's missing. Better watch the way you going, better go in the right direction. In the moment you stressing, but you gon' be counting blessings. And I know that for certain, keep on working, open curtains. Haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. Whoa. I'm never gonna give up, fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah.
You're listening to the Tom Ficklin Show on WNHH-LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Tempest, let's jump right in. Good to see you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good. We saw each other on Saturday at the at Concord at the Orchid Cafe, and I was just so impressed with the people that were there and the topic about really just how do we bring on a sustained and deliberate and intentional basis health awareness, health activity, health proactivity, preventative health to the community any and every way we can by any means necessary. And it seems to me that you're involved with something called CARE,
Yes.
and you'll explain that. And so I wanted to spend the next 20 or so, 25 minutes just letting people know about this sterling opportunity. Time is ticking. There's some deadlines involved. If people really want to put their money where their mouth is, I don't mean to be crude, but just don't want to just talk, but really just walk and even sprint or engage in this marathon for health equity. Community Alliance for, what does CARE stand for? Community
Alliance for Research and Engagement.
For research and engagement. Just those words, Community Alliance for Research and Engagement. This is not a barbershop or a beauty salon discussion. This is a substantive opportunity for people who really care about health, not necessarily for themselves and their family, but for future generations. So jump right in. Tell us about some deadlines that are kicking in. I'm an alumnus from this program, so I'm obviously biased, and I'll gladly, full transparency, admit that. And let's spend the next 20 or so, 25 minutes about this opportunity that's really presenting itself to the greater New Haven community.
Yeah, so as you said, my name is Tempest Latham, and I actually am a project coordinator for CARE, and I have the wonderful opportunity to work with two of our health equity programs. So currently we have two programs that are running. We have open enrollment. So I'm going to start with our community research fellows.
Mhm.
What is very unique about this opportunity, which is what we kind of talked about on Saturday as well at the brunch, is that this is an opportunity for community members that just have an interest, no real background in research or cancer or anything like that, but someone who is really looking to be the change that they want to see and actually help cultivate that relationship between investigators, community members, to come together to have like a shared understanding and also come to the table to talk about what are some real issues that we're facing and how can they support us and we can actually support them. So our community research fellow program runs for 9 months. It's an opportunity for community members to sit in structured trainings to learn about social determinants of health, concepts of research, and what does it look like in terms of studies, as well as a lot of different components. And I won't get into too much detail because that will reveal what happens in those sessions. But ultimately, the goal is to drive community-based participatory research as well as approaches, which basically means that New Haven residents have the opportunity to pair with researchers, investigators from the Yale Cancer Research Center and work on various projects that they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And what that looks like, it could be maybe if you want to work in the lab side by side, if that's an opportunity, you can do that. If you want to take a look at some of the messaging that they have, you can kind of weigh in from a community perspective and say, hey, I understand the intent behind this might have been A, but when I'm reading this, I have a lot of questions, or it's not necessarily effectively driving your message.
Mm-hmm.
And each of the fellows have the opportunity to actually showcase the work that they've done over the course of the 9 months. And they have the opportunity to come back together, share with the community what are things that they've worked on. But ultimately, what I love about this program is that it's only for 9 months, but as we know, research takes years and years and years. Many of the program participants that do come through us are often offered opportunities to continue this work, whether they're on a advisory board, whether they get paid opportunities, or they are actually asked to join and actually be staff. So it really is creating this network between community members as well as our Yale investigators to have these relationships so that we can actually see the change that a lot of folks were talking about on Saturday.
And so how can folks get involved? Is time ticking? I mean, I can feel the fierce urgency of the now. So kind of let's strike the bell.
Absolutely. So we actually have open enrollment. You can go ahead and go to carenhv.org, and you can go ahead and apply there. We're also going to be running several ads through social media, Facebook, Instagram, and obviously you'll get to see this. So this is an opportunity. You can always feel free to reach out to me as well. But I also just want to highlight one other program that we have. So let's say maybe you don't have an interest in working with a researcher, right? Maybe that's not the fit for you. But there's another program that we have as well, same open enrollment. We're accepting applications up until like mid-December, and the program does start in January and will run for the full 9 months. And it'll be an in-person and a hybrid model. So the other program is New Haven Health Leaders. And this is an opportunity where you get to sit in workshops with other community members who have an interest with just seeing health in their community, right? So whether it is they see that there's this disparity or there's this project they're looking to work on, or they just want to really get involved and don't necessarily know how. So the New Haven Health Leader Program actually focuses on teaching community members about social determinants to health, grassroots interventions, as well as community engagement and leadership cultivating. And what happens is over the course of the 9 months, folks sit in these structured sessions, but they also have the opportunity to highlight a health project that they would like to do within their community, and they get to work on that. So not only are these paid opportunities where you get a stipend over the course of the 9 months, but also will receive funding to actually execute a project within your neighborhood.
Incredible. And how can folks kind of be in touch and get a further clarification if they're interested in that regard for the health leaders?
So I will say, thankfully, everything is eco-friendly. So you can go ahead and go online. We have QR codes. We've set up we have a couple of pamphlets at a lot of the public libraries. Also, if you visit our website, carenhv.org, and you go through our programs, you can go ahead and apply there, or you can reach out to me. My Instagram is Health Happy Habits. Or you can email me. It's Latham, LATHAMT, the number 3, at southernct.edu.
And Tempest, how long have you been there involved with this initiative?
Well, I actually am an alumni. I actually was a New Haven Health Leader, and shortly after I came on board. So as an employee, I've been on for 2 years, and I've been in connection with CARE for 3 years now.
What have you seen or heard from folks about their enthusiasm or their commitment, or why they even apply? I mean, a variety of folks can apply. I'm just impressed with the demographics being so wide. But what are some of the anecdotes you hear about why people find it to be worthwhile and successful?
You know what's really unique is I love that so many folks are actually hesitant in the beginning and they don't necessarily feel as comfortable and confident in their capabilities. And what I love to see, because I do get to co-facilitate some of our workshop sessions, is that you get to see this light bulb go off. It's something about coming together with like-minded folks and having conversations, because even though, yeah, we might share the same zip code, we're all different in a sense, but it's almost like reestablishing that sense of community. And what folks will tell you is, I had no idea if I could really pull this off, and I did. Or they can say, I always wanted to get in the know of how can I really make a change, or how can I support various different initiatives. And I'm so glad that I was introduced to CARE, because now I've gone on to do this, or I'm sitting on this advisory board, or I am doing a community baby shower and I'm doing another project. I think what I love to see is the networking. And I think a lot of feedback we get is that this was kind of the launching pad for me. And it's not, even though the 9 months have come and gone, I still am connected, and CARE is a family, and everyone I've met along the way continues to support me on all my future endeavors. So that is something that seems to be a common theme all across the board, which is super exciting, and has also brought a lot of attention to some of our interest holders. So both of our programs will actually be expanding as well. So currently we are in New Haven, we are in Bridgeport, we are moving to Waterbury, and we are actually already in Hartford.
Isn't that fascinating? And you referenced an incentive. There's a financial incentive as well?
Absolutely. So participants, once you are accepted into the program, will receive a stipend of $2,700 over the course of 9 months, just for participating in the program. So we're
And
training
mhm,
up the leaders and we're paying you as well.
mhm. And you mentioned Waterbury. Is that going to be for the Waterbury and the other locations hybrid also, or just exclusively in person?
We're going to do the same hybrid model.
Oh, okay. Okay, great, great. Talk to me about politics, funding, economy, public health. What goes through your mind as you've been, but well, where did you go to school? Where did you go to undergrad?
So I actually am a asynchronous student. So I got my degree in healthcare administration from Charter Oak State College. I have a degree in dental hygiene from Tunxus, and I have my MPH from Goodwin University.
So talk about, I mean, so you've been invested in the academic sphere about what public health means and community health, and now on the boots on the ground kind of thing. What is that? What have you learned, or what have you sensed? Where do we go from here? Because it seems to me that folks still, as you reference, are hesitant. And I was so glad we could chat this afternoon to help promote the upcoming opportunities. But what resonates through your mind as you reflect on your journey over the last 6 or 7 years on this movement, this abolitionist strategy to erase health inequities.
I think what's most important and where I feel like I always seem to circle back to is the education component. I believe that, we've all kind of gone and we sat through school, and school is like this structured learning environment. However, the education component is really what we have control over, and it's really how we seek out information to make a change. And I think that throughout all of my education and different roles that I've played, whether I was, the hygienist working at Cornell Scott, or now that I'm at CARE and I'm working through Southern, I think that what a lot of folks are coming to the table with are questions. There are a lot of different misconceptions that need to kind of be broken down. But I think most importantly is folks really want to be heard first. So that active listening and then being able to kind of take that information and break down where the sources are coming from. I think when I think about public health, I think it's personal, right? I think that we all have a hand in what is going on within our lives, right? At least what we can control. But I also always challenge people to think about, who are you in your community? How does your community affect you? How can you be effective within
Mhm.
your community? That's also a component of public health. We've had people come through the program and they're like, I don't have any degrees, or I'm not a public health major. You don't have to be. You are a concerned citizen. You are affected by these systems and policies that are in place. And
Mhm.
your voice, your experience makes you the expert. So I can say, as a New Haven native, as a woman of color, and as an MPH and future doctor, I think that it's really important to exercise your voice, advocate for what you believe in, but always seek out knowledge. There's going to be things that are going to occur, but unless you are actively involving yourself in the change you want to see, you're kind of just allowing things to pass you by and letting things happen that you can ultimately influence. It does
Mhm.
take time, but I believe there's strength in numbers.
I saw it. I really appreciate your sharing that context. I participated this fall, actually. Like one of your alums, Ariella, had an
Yes,
event.
Edwards. Yes.
Edwards and I attended that. And so share with us, you mentioned some of the projects. If what were kind of some of the projects that come to mind that give people a little feel for how really flexible, innovative, and strategic folks can be with their project design.
Well, actually, so Dyshawn Harris, who is our urban agriculture hub guy, as I call him, also folks will refer to him as Farmer D. He actually has cultivated many new, whether he revamped existing community gardens or he made them completely from scratch. If you're familiar with the Shack, 333 Valley Street. So that area is a recent rebuild, and that green space now has several beds. So that was a project that Dyshawn Harris did. In addition to White Street, that
Mhm.
church had a green space that he also redid as well.
Mhm.
And Ariella, as you had mentioned, she does an annual mental health fair in the community.
Mhm.
It brings out tons of different people, just providing resources, opportunities to talk to people that look just like you, opportunities to tap into some of the different things and the services that you have access to. We've also had Shamika Frazier. She did a maternal health panel when
Mhm.
she was a New Haven health leader. And then she went on, I would say maybe not even a month later after the program had concluded, she partnered with some other folks in the area, and she did a community baby shower. Her second annual community baby shower is coming up. It's going to be October 28th at the Q House. So I definitely hope that folks will come out to that. All
Mhm.
this stuff is actually on my Instagram that I use just to post stuff as a community member, just wanting to engage other people. And that is Health Happy Habits on Instagram. And all their projects and information and things of that nature has been highlighted there, as well as on our CARE Facebook and Instagram.
And I believe, Timbus, there's an upcoming cancer information event at the Q House. Isn't there a?
Yes, there is. So that actually is an extension of this past cohort, a project that was being worked on, and the focus was lung cancer. So there's going to be an informational on that, and that is going to be November 4th. The time slips my mind, but that is also posted and shared amongst our alumni networks and on my social media for folks to see, as well as Facebook. And that's also an opportunity to kind of see, what did it look like for these community research fellows to work with the Yale investigators? And now they co-collaborated on the actual messaging that is being put out on lung cancer, but
Mhm.
also help support putting this event together and actually promoting it for the Cancer Research Center as the fellows that also worked on this research.
How have you found, I mean, this is so great. Let's spend another 10 minutes or so. How did you, the investigators, the academics, do they welcome having community folks side by side, so to speak? Do they see it to be an asset, of value, or a pain in the butt?
You know what? I will say what I appreciate about them is they come to the table open-minded. Many of them, they also sit through a training so that they can gain an understanding of what this working relationship will look like and what are some of the expectations and the structure of how we are looking to run things. And what I will say is they have been very open to the feedback and the wealth of knowledge and expertise that the community members bring. I think some of the comments I have heard was, hey, I didn't necessarily know what this was going to be like or what exactly I was signing up for. It was just something that interests me because I wanted to get some more insight on what is my pamphlet really saying, or based on the information that was provided from surveys, and I'm reading through scripts and things of that nature. What does this mean to a community member, right? Because ultimately you're looking to implement stuff we as the consumers are using. So shouldn't we be at the table helping you, create this promotion or, structure survey questions and things of that nature? So I will say the majority of our investigators have come to the table with just open minds.
Mm-hmm.
There are others that have said, this was wonderful, but I didn't understand what was going to go into it. And now that I know more, I would love to do this again. And then we have others who say, I think I need to pivot how I even go and look at how I'm approaching these survey questions based on what I'm looking to get back, because I don't necessarily have a good understanding of my target demographic. I just know from the medical standpoint, this is what I need to be doing. It's kind of, you've seen the light bulb go off, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they're saying, okay, I do need to pause and take a look and step away from me as the MD and have those conversations with community members and our consumers to really understand what are the barriers that these things are not necessarily maybe yielding the results that we're looking for. Or if things are skewed, why are they skewed? How can we gain more representation? I think a lot of what happens is we're the primary consumers, we're not represented in the research. So of course we don't want to be involved, or we don't want to take this medication, or we're not necessarily looking at this approach as something that's going to work for us because you haven't shown us that it does, because we haven't been included. So
Mm-hmm.
I really like that they are coming to the table open-minded. But again, there's still so much work to be done. This is just a start.
Interesting. You referenced the schedule in the 9 months. Is it 2 or 3 meetings a month? The time frame each week? What can help me to kind of visualize a little bit more if I'm interested? What my
That's a great question.
time commitment might be?
So the two programs actually run a little bit differently, but same structure, different days. So our community research fellows, and those are the folks that are going to go ahead and they're going to work with Yale investigators. They're going to meet between January and May, and they're going to meet bi-weekly on Thursdays, and that's going to be between 5:30 and 7:30. For our in-person sessions, dinner is provided, and it's always something really Good. And then between June and September, that's more of a time where you're really working hands-on with your investigators. So that is when we're going to drop down to monthly, but it'll be still on Thursdays, same time, 5:30 to 7:30. And then our New Haven health leaders, same kind of model, right? So January to May, they're going to meet bi-monthly, but those are going to be on Tuesdays from 5:30 to 7:30. And then the same thing in September, excuse me, June to September, on those Tuesdays, it's going to be 5:30 to 7:30, but it's only going to be once a month.
And here in New Haven, on Southern's campus or in the Bahamas, or where will
I wish it was the Bahamas.
where
So right now, we're still working out some of the logistics for community research fellows, just because we are expanding to Waterbury. So we want to provide folks that are a little further out a more travel-friendly option. So we're still working out those details. However,
Okay.
New Haven health leaders are definitely meeting on Southern's campus, which is beautiful. We are at the Health and Human Services building, which is the brand new building. It's absolutely beautiful. There's plenty of parking. But our community research fellows, we use the same space as well. We just really try to tailor to our different locations, since we're in 3 cities this cohort.
Yes.
So we're still working out those details, but those things will be forthcoming for all of our participants that do get accepted.
Tease us a little bit about some of the presenters. I know you don't want to reveal your whole card, but you can reference the past, some of the because each of the sessions I found to really be insightful and to grab your attention. So I think for people to know that they really have a chance to rub shoulders with, if not some of the best minds in New Haven, but some of the more brilliant minds, particularly pertaining to this topic. So who might be some of the presenters just in the past?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm actually going to be in Daniel's inbox, Daniel Sarpone, to see if I can get him in for the community research fellows. But we have people like Sakina, Marcellus. We have Alicia Santilli, who's our director. You'll have me in a couple of sessions, Tammy Chapman. We also invite the alders to come in. We have a couple of others, but I'm going to keep those under wraps just a little bit, because we do want to kind of really gain the attention of the participants when we do get them. So I won't reveal all of our folks.
All right. So is Oprah on that list or not?
Oh my goodness, no.
Okay.
But I'll add one of her quotes.
Add one of her quotes. A little bit of a divergent. Let's take another 5 minutes or so. We've heard this term, actually not so much in this last year, but the year prior, this racism as a public health crisis was almost on a lot of people's tongues, and in a lot of municipalities and states, and resolutions were passed and states were passing study groups, et cetera. Does that phrase, racism as a public health crisis, still resonate with you? Was it just kind of a one-off fashion statement 2 years ago, or is there still some relevance and substance to that phrase?
I believe that there is a lot of substance and, unfortunately, roots to that phrase. I often try to remind myself to be politically correct and not too tempest in my responses, but I will say that it is definitely something that has to be addressed. I think that it's something that you can't ignore it. It is in every step of the way, whether you are a consumer, whether you are a provider, whether you're just walking down the street. There are just certain things that you are going to be approached differently based on how you present for various different reasons, right? Whether it's race, your gender, and unfortunately, that impacts people at a very high degree, whether it's their health, whether it's their mental well-being, whether it is their comfort in just navigating certain spaces. So it is definitely something that needs to be addressed. I think that a step in the right direction has been a lot of this DEI training. But like I said, the work is started, but it still needs to be done. And I think one of the largest things, and I always will go back to education, is kind of understanding the root of things and not pushing it under the table or dismissing it because, oh, this has been going on for years. You guys always, refer to this. And it's like, until you address it, and we can sit at the table and we can have a conversation where it's acknowledged. I think acknowledgement is the first step, right? And then educate you on what have been some of the conflicts and the issues, or let's do some storytelling to really gain an understanding of that qualitative information, right? And how that can help your research so you can have improved behaviors and approaches going forward. Unfortunately, we can't undo the past, but we have to learn from it, right? And that's where that education piece comes in.
How about among, and I appreciate your sharing that the City of New Haven, the Board of Alders, you referenced them obliquely, and I'm not going to elaborate on that point, but I wasn't an alder at that point, but in 2019, 2020, we did pass a racism as a public health crisis kind of resolution, as well as with a task force and a study group. And in December at the one of our public meetings, I'll certainly share this with you. The city staff that was charged to kind of look at our recommendations. Alicia was on that task force to look at the recommendations and let us know where we are in terms of implementation to really create an equitable health system here in New Haven and beyond. So I'll keep you posted there. What's the important? But what's the importance of having you? You did reference, I think, was it Alder Honda Smith that she presented in the past? I know you have.
I've been trying to get her. Maybe this cohort I will be able to.
What's the interest or reason that might be helpful for your students to kind of hear from any of the alders, including maybe myself? Who knows?
I mean, you guys are a representation of us, right? You guys are standing up and you are advocating on our behalf. So I think it's important to be involved in all these different components to really have a true understanding of what your area is experiencing, like these individuals, this community. I think it's really important for alders to help reestablish that sense of community and also feel connected. I know it's difficult. I know that it is a job that it's a big ask, but I also understand that the people that are in these positions, you guys are capable and able. And I think even what was expressed at that brunch was that we need more of you at these conversations. We need more of you involved in these sessions, programs, air, because it is with your partnership. And as we come together, we are stronger in numbers, right? When it's more of us standing and we are advocating for one another and we are sharing resources and services and we are leaning on one another, it's harder for anybody else who's doing anything that's against what we have to actually be able to move things forward. And I think the change starts with us, and alders, I believe, set the example.
Excellent. Well, I hear that charge, and I'll reach out to you schedule wise. I serve on a variety of committees, and so I'm prepared to kind of share what we're involved with. Parting thoughts. I mean, folks can kind of reach you how again and find out more about the program. What's the best way again?
So I think if you particularly want to just learn about CARE and see our program and obviously apply online, you're going to go to carenhv.org. We're also on Facebook with the same name, spelled the same way, as well as Instagram.
Okay. And parting thoughts as folks kind of listen to this in terms of what do you want their takeaway to be?
I actually would love for folks to consider stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something new. We did a campaign for the New Haven Health Leaders specifically, but I feel like it should resonate for you as well if you were interested in being a community research fellow. And we did showcase two of our alumni, so Dyshawn Harris and Ariella Edwards. And you get to see a little clip about them, their experience with the program, what they have been currently doing, and why they do what they do. And I think specifically listening to their stories, it really gives you a personal take on why this work is so important. So those full videos are available on our website, carenhv.org, but you can also see them on our social media pages as we're using them for recruitment as well. But I really encourage people to listen to these stories and see if it resonates with their own personal story and be willing to step out on faith. Public health is personal.
Excellent. Public health is personal. I like that. Tempest, thank you so much. See you
for
soon.
having me.
My pleasure. Be well, be safe, onward and upward.
Thank you. You as well.
Take care, dear.
Bye.
As I got another rhyme, another rhythm for y'all to listen. I'm never quitting on my mission. I'ma roll with what I'm giving. Got some ambition, this new edition, filling positions. Looking at the void in myself and feeling what's missing. Better watch the way you going. Better go in the right direction. In the moment you stressing, but you gon' be counting blessings. And I know that for certain. Keep on working, open curtains. Haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. Whoa. I'm never gonna give up. Fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah.
You're listening to the Tom Ficklin Show on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.